to the Happy Martin Luther King Day edition of Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host, Anne, and disembodied hands Quinty with her minions Justin and John, and oh my gosh, it's an attack, Kiki! Ah! Hi. Okay, off. Okay, off. No, she's way too excitable today. She's so excitable. And she knows this is the one time she can jump up and go, ah, me. So there you go, guys. There you go. Lady Nim, thank you for the resub. 15 months. Sweet. Yeah, so you got the Keeker. You got the Keeksty. Keeksty. Hi, Keek. Oh, you brought your ball. Oh, no, I gotta play tug. Yeah, Dad's gotta distract you, Keeks. Oh, he does. It's his job. Yeah, he's home today. He got today off. Yeah, she's just like chewing. She wants to chew on her ball. Good girl. Go, bother your father. Oh, in true parental style. It's just like having a kid. Except, thank God, the kid phase ends after a year or two. Oh, boy. Hi, guys. How's it going? So I had a good stream on my channel this weekend on twitch.tv/paintingbig. I worked with some of the Chimera colors and made some notes about them. So if you're interested in that, the VOD will be up. Obviously is up right now. Otherwise, let us dive into fishies. Oh, except I may need to go. I need to go to the closet and get my copper colors. Or we could do something else. Although most of what we have left to do is really copper. The dog has no manners today. All right. There we go. Luckily, it was a short trip. Hello, everybody. Hello. She's huge. She's humongous. So this week we put her heart monitor goes on, so I have to take her to the vet for a weigh-in. Pardon me. Ugh, allergies after the rain. Take her to the vet for a weigh-in so they can get her sedation meds right. Major regression, huh? Oh no, Miss M. Oh, I was there so recently. I'm so sorry. Have you, if it keeps happening, check for UTI. Less common probably in males than in females, but it still happens. Especially if they've been reliable for a while and then they just start having accidents and it doesn't stop. Thank you, Silver Tongue. Is that the clue that I should do more paint chem? I should do more paint chem on my personal stream. Maybe I should. Yeah, we have actual sunshine today too. Nico, yay! Sunshine unite! Boom, fist bump. I'm not punching you, I swear. Ooh, Cornico, I went to the yarn store yesterday. More tech for the tech nerds. Oh, sub-zero temps. Yuck. Yeah. Oh, shudder. Yeah, yarn store. I wanted to make a thing. Let's see if I still have the thing in my... I decided I want to make, this isn't what I'm making, but like I wanted to make a snood thing like this, but without the buttons. So I went and went to the yarn store and I showed the lady and she told me about Ravelry.com, which apparently has all sorts of patterns. So we found a pattern and I bought yarn. Yeah. So I wanted something like that, something comfortable for this area. I like snoods and cowls and stuff. So yeah, so I thought that I'm going to do it in seed stitch, which I haven't been knitting and purling. I've been practicing my knits and purls. Oh, and I'm proud of myself because I'm a nerd, even in knitting. Even when I knit, I'm a nerd, guys. So I timed myself when I first started doing this new scarf that I started a while ago. And it took me 10 minutes to do a single row of alternating like purls and knits. Last night it took me 4 minutes. So I'm improving. No, I didn't know about Ravelry. I'm brand new to the hobby, Crowley. So. It makes you buy so much more yarn. Always be gamifying. It's a progress measurement thing, right, Cranston? So if you're a learner type of personality or an achiever type of personality, then I think that it helps you if you kind of like get a base. You know, it's like painting your first mini and like noticing it takes you like 4 hours, and then your next mini only took you 2.5, but it was about the same quality, right? That kind of thing. Well, I don't expose myself to the hobby much, Crawley, except for you guys. Like, you guys are my knit and paint circle. I haven't really like sought out a knit circle otherwise, because I tend to be a loner. I tend to go out alone, and I like the exploration of discovering things for myself. But Yarn Lady at the yarn store totally was like, oh, let's look up a pattern. Have you looked for any patterns? I'm like, no, I have no idea. Show me. So, yeah. So now I know, which means I have to avoid that website until I'm done with this project. Oh, I bet it does. 1.5 time modifier. See, like, yeah, it's useful when you're learning. It's useful when you're learning. If there is a, it's harder with miniature painting probably, because every mini is different, right? And unlike with yarn, where you're knitting the same row or a similar row over and over and over, so you can quantify it a lot easier. But it is helpful when you kind of can apply something there to show yourself that you're getting better. That's why with miniatures, the rules always like keep your old work, so that you don't like still think you suck 5 minis down the line when actually you suck a lot less. But unless you kept those first few minis for comparison, you wouldn't know. So even if you didn't keep your first few minis and you're in your intermediate stage of your journey, keep the next mini you do, or whichever the next mini that you do that's not a commission. Keep that. And that way, a year from now, go back and look at that mini and then look at what you're doing now. And unless you only paint 1 mini a year, chances are you're going to be able to see improvement. And that's just so useful for keeping yourself motivated. You are not driving. That is cool. So while I mix paint, another exciting thing happened this weekend. Actually, it happened last night while I was asleep. But I got my first proofs for the cover for my book. So I may show you guys later because I may want your opinion. Ooh, would you like to give an opinion? I bet you would. So when you look at them, though, you have to remember that they are like really just like, at this point, it's just like a whole bunch of like kind of photoshopping thrown together. And then she paints it digitally to make it all go together and look good afterwards. So this is just composition-wise that she sent me options. She did point out, okay, well, now I've talked about it. Now I have to show you, right? All right, so hold on. I saved 2 of the best ones. There were 5 total. And let me see here. Maybe I should just dig up all of them. The elements I asked for were kind of like, I actually asked her if she could do like kind of woodcut type stuff, but that's not her forte. So that she's like, if you want that, then you need to go to another artist. Now, I've already been waiting 8 months. There's no way I'm going to another artist. So her style is more to use models and then realistically paint over them. So, but she did make an effort to do like the here. It's a test. So that's number 1, I think. No, it's number 2. Nope, number 1. Wait, let me find the other. Okay. So, and there's the other one. So yeah. So what I'm looking for is kind of a celestial sun type of medieval sun pattern with, I like the tapestry background on this. If you look at it, there's like tapestry stuff. And it does capture the main character, and then the fox is a character. So the other one is this one is done a little bit more woodcutty. The fox is less realistic and she introduced the bear, but I'm less a fan of the bear, even though the bear is also a character. So here the sun is more medieval, and it's done more overlay woodcut kind of thing like that with the winds and stuff, and that also fits. So number 1, it keeps not wanting to. Number 1 is more traditional, one would say, with young adult. Now remember my genre, guys. This is a young adult fantasy that's very fairy tale. I kind of feel like this captures it a little bit better. Do you think so? Like if you were going to pick up a book in the bookstore, which cover was it, and you were looking for like a fairy tale adventure type of book, fantasy, which one screams that to you more? This is 1. This is 2. 2? Everybody likes 2? Yeah. Everybody likes 2. That's interesting. Yeah, cool. Cool. Yeah, look at that. Look at that, chat. Yes. You like 1, but you like the son of number 2. Yeah. 2nd is better for young adult. Okay, okay. Yeah, I like the fox looking up to Kerniko. Maybe I can get her. So there's a couple of people who like 1, but 2 agrees that, yeah, because 2 is more fairy tale. And that's kind of what I need, because that's really, the cover when you're doing a book is the promise of the premise. It's like the movie poster when you're doing a movie. So you have to be able to look at that and feel the kind of book that you're stepping into. Yeah, the Bear Kings makes me think that the bear should be there. Okay, that's a good point. So if I get her to have the fox like looking up, then maybe we could do it if she could do that. 2 has a better visual flow, I agree. But yeah, I think I do like this one. I'm going to ask David too. But yeah, I know the fox I want is better. The problem is, like, okay, so I had a choice when I decided to do my book covers. I could get a traditional illustrator, or I could get, I could look at cover artists specifically. And I chose to go with cover artists because there's so much more that goes into a cover than just the illustration. You can have a beautiful piece of art that makes a lousy cover. So she did stick to my... With the figure, yeah, don't pick it apart now. Yeah. Then the figure is larger, it's more compelling, but it's less fairy tale. It's more fantasy, I think. Oh, you think more realistic, less woodcut with the fox Shadow Raven. Do you guys agree with that? Like, cause she went with a woodcut kind of thing, because I had asked her if she could do it, but if we do the fox more realistic in the style of the main character and just have the background be stylized, do you guys like that better? Yeah? Okay. Interesting. She'll like that because that's more her style. Yeah. So this composition, but Fox and Barrymore. Pendrake's okay with it. Right. Yeah, and that's the thing is, she said, if you want everything to be woodcut style, you need an illustrator. And I'm like, I don't really want to go there. Because I did look at a couple of traditional artists, and the problem is they don't know how to do covers. So, yeah. I want book now, please. Yes, that's what I want. Tell your housemate, super thank you, Kerniko. Excellent. We will probably go with that. I'm gonna ask her if she can do more of a realistic design than with the animals, and do that way. Yeah, because I like the flow and I like the background of that. The background gets the fairy tale feel, and then the characters can be realistic. Because that's actually, now that I think about it, guys, that's how the book kind of is because, characters from like a different historical version of our real world actually go into the, the fairy tale world, right? So that kind of makes sense that the background is all fairy tale, but they're real. So that's great. That's great. Excellent. Overall, I'm very pleased with her. I love her work. I think and once she paints over it, like, and makes the lighting, like, right, and does it all, it's like, oh, it's just so good. I wish I was that good at photoshopping, like, kind of stuff. Like, these days, make no mistake, like, these days, a really good Photoshop artist is just so good. Like, they do such great stuff. I mean, because they still have to think about everything we do, lighting and all the rest of it. She's not using a rendering program. She's just doing it, with her own chops. So... yeah, I like her. I liked her covers when I looked at her website, and that's why I went with her. So yeah, that's great. Yes, I'm glad you're helper. So her name is Raven, and it's I think it's Raaven. It might be Ravvan. Let me see. One second. Must find out. Run and find out, the mongoose motto. It's Ravven. I think, I don't remember if it's ravenart.com or not. She's in the UK. I don't know where. All right, so let's actually mix up some stuff. What do I want to do today? Let me think about what I want to do today. Oh, we didn't finish the fishnet. The fishnet. On the fish. So we should do that. And I should stop being silly. No, I shouldn't. I should never stop being silly. Yeah. Yeah, she's got some beautiful work up on there. Her Instagram is cool too, because she has a lot of stuff on book. She saves a lot of different book covers that are all really neat. But yeah. Yeah, I really love what she's doing, and it's cool that I can share with you guys, and I'm interested to see, let me see, I might have one other one. Now that, let me just look. Yeah, okay, all right. So here's another one that I didn't save originally. But I don't like the composition as much on this one at all. Like, this one does not hit my composition switch. It does have the features you guys liked, but it doesn't hit that vibe for me. So maybe we use this fox. Maybe we use it, but with the other background. Yeah, cover artists, exactly, are a special breed. You're right, not many traditional artists can make the bear feels awkward. Yeah, exactly, right? Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. I didn't like it either that much. But it's cool that she sent me, there were 5 or 6 that she sent me, and all different. So it's really cool to be able to look at them. Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, it needs, right, you need to cover composition, right? You have to understand, you need to be able to put text in, you need to, and if you're really good, as I believe she is, and you have a lot of experience in a genre, most cover artists will actually specialize in a few genres because they understand the genre, because every genre has conventions for font and for colors. So that's why I went with a cover artist instead of an illustrator. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you, Turgeon. Yeah. Yeah, well, remember, she is really just layering images at this point, and she will blend everything in afterwards. So, but I'm really, really going toward the other one because I really like it. Yeah, I know. No, Turgeon, we got it. So yeah, if you want to go see her other work, she just does some beautiful, beautiful stuff. All right, and now I have to think. I have to refocus. Refocus! Half and half of our tarnished copper and our new copper. Except it doesn't want to squeeze out because it's that kind of Monday, folks. But yeah, so there. Thank you all for taking a look and giving me an opinion. I really value it because really, I mean, a lot of you guys I know, you read the genre. So it's very valuable to me to have your opinion on this sort of thing because I'm like, you can look at it and go, if I saw that cover, would I pick that book up, right? Because that's the first thing, when you're scrolling through on, and that's the other thing I have to ask myself too, and I'm probably going to need to kind of give it another go. Because remember, the covers are much smaller when you see them on Amazon or other bookstores. So I also have to look at those kind of from a distance. That'll be my next step, I think. Well, it's fine. I think anybody who wants to go see her stuff has enough information now. You don't have to make it super easy. Anybody who really cares is going to just go and type that in. But yeah, so I'm excited. I need to kind of see, because the one thing about the number 1 with the figure bigger is that it is going to carry better as a small thumbnail. But I really like the other one. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me too, Cornico. My first dragons were totally Larry Elmore dragons. Oh, technically I can, but I don't want to reach over here and go type. That's very awkward. Very awkward. I don't want to. I'm going to be lazy and leave it to Quinty. But no, y'all can figure it out. All right. And then we remember we were adding some yellow to our new copper, so 4 drops of new copper. Now, when I did the copper NMM PDF for my Patreon, I did this step where you just did the copper, but then you glazed with the yellow afterwards. And you can do that. Or you can do what I've been doing with this guy and just add in the yellow to the new copper to make it a little less pink and a little more tarnished. So you can do either one. Either one is valid. It's the same thing, but not. So if you glaze with yellow, you're going to warm up everything. And if you just add in the yellow to the highlight, then you're just going to, be essentially sending the message that that the highlight's just a little tarnished over. Of course you read the genre. Hey, it's not just like, seriously, like adults, like there's almost more adults reading YA than YA than young adults reading YA. That's not quite true, but let's just say a very significant part of the market for teen and YA is read by adults. And to be honest, I think some of the best writing that's coming out is in YA and teen. There's just some very, very, very good writers working in those genres. But yes. But yeah, I really, really, really appreciate you guys giving me feedback. What do I want to do? Do I want to do candlelight today? Sure. Candlelight. Yes. Well, and links should be turned off for regular users because, you know, otherwise we'd have spam dragons. And I love dragons, but not spam dragons. That's what I feel like spammers are. They're just a dragon doing the drive-by with the breath, and the breath is just the spam with the links. It's like the worst kind of dragon. You mean our treasured audience, Quindy? Our treasured audience? Slay the spam dragons? Wouldn't that be cool? Like if you got a little like digital sword and it like and it just slayed the links, nuked it. Yeah, Illyria's dragons have just become iconic, right? Because of our generation, like, you know, when he was doing stuff. I mean, I have print of thing that you know, I grew up with, and I love his dragons. So I think they are definitely iconic dragons. And I don't know why. Like, it would be interesting to just kind of study why Elmore's dragons became more iconic than like Caldwell's. Eastleigh's were very bestial, so I know, you know, some people really like that style, but others don't. Although I did love Caldwell's dragons as well. And he had a lot of different body types with his different types of dragons, which was cool. Yes, I also am a dragon. Did you not notice? I do have dragons in my book too. Well, actually not really in the first book. It's in book 2. You definitely get a dragon. All right, so now I'm going to mix up these colors so we can get to going. Get going. So do be careful how much yellow you add into your copper. It's very easy to take it really orange, and you may not want that. So I'm going to grab this and grab that and mix this in. Grab a little bit more of that. Tone it down a little. There. May need to add a little bit more new copper in that because I went very orange with it. Oh yeah, because they're metal, right? All the Elmore dragons that Jim did. Someday, if Sciocast, you know, gets its butt in gear and allows, you know, makes a bigger table format, maybe we'll get dragons in like Bones USA. Maybe Jim can hire Reaper to do Elmore dragons in Bones USA. All right. Ah, okay. I want some of my basic tarnished copper too. I think I'm going to throw just a little bit of russet brown in it. Ah, okay. No, resin is interesting. You know, it's really weird, guys, when metal, because it used to be, Richard, that resin was the expensive medium. But now, with 3D printing, resin costs are going down, and metal costs have just skyrocketed over the last 2 decades. Just skyrocketed. Like I remember Ed doing an infographic on it back when they first started to really go up. And it's the cost of the tin that is the reason that the white metal goes so high. There we go. Look at these colors. We'll just do this. Okie dokie. Okay, and I needed a brush. Don't use my Raphael Zero. I was using my Raphael Zero a lot yesterday. So the Raphael 8408 number 0 is very similar to my Da Vinci Maestro, more like a number 2. It's a little bit bigger than the Maestro 1. It is, hold on. But it's another long skinny brush, skinny long brush. So when we see them together, the Raphael's on the right. And then I've got, wait, where's my Da Vinci 2? Let's look and compare these. Oh, these are similar. Except the Da Vinci's fatter. So yeah, because the Raphael is the fine pointed. So yeah, they're the same length, pretty much. But the Da Vinci is on the left, and it's much fuller bodied. So it's because it's a standard round. You don't see it as much in their size 1, but you definitely see it in size 2. Whereas if you want a skinny brush, like I tend to use, then you definitely want to do the Raphael 8404 if you can find them, or sorry, 8408. Kariniko, you just need a good friend on stateside who will ship you dragons for money. Okay, so that's where we are. Yeah, yep. Yeah, Grey Mouser. Yeah, that's definitely true. Larry has a more illustrative style, I think. Caldwell's pulling more, you're right, he had a lot more contrast, a lot more shadow. Oh, there we go. Shadow Raven is offering himself up as a sacrificial dragon shipper there for you, Kariniko. Yeah, I think my favorite Caldwell, there's a couple of them, but let's see if I can find it. Oh, yeah. Probably my favorite Caldwell, although it's a bad picture, but you guys remember this one, right? With the black dragon, Chrysanth. It's my favorite, and the underground city. I love that one. I like how snaky the black dragon is. And then the other one I liked is the green dragon with the orb. I used to have the Dragonlance calendars. Oh, that one. That one. That's the other Caldwell I really like. Oh, huge markup. Yeah, Baba, thanks. Yeah, that's my favorite Caldwell. Definitely. All right, so I'm going to grab some of my tarnished copper. I'm going to paint it right over our white net design, and I'm not going to worry too much about staying in the cracks because my backdrop is dark enough. I don't have to trace the design perfectly. It's a little bit thinned too, so. Yeah, I like the bulky look depending on the type of dragon. Like I like red dragons to definitely be more powerfully built, I think. But I like that snaky, sinuous feel for black dragons. Whereas Larry's dragons are all built roughly the same. Elmore's. He is at least he's very consistent with the way his dragons look. But yeah, I think both of them, I think both Caldwell and Elmore definitely understood how to do a good cover, though. Like, although Larry's painting, or sorry, the Black Dragon painting, not so much, but the Elf King with the orb and the Green Dragon, that'd be a very good book cover. I may have thinned my copper just a little bit too much. Boop. Yeah, it's a little bit thin. Oh well. Just have to go over it a couple times. Yeah, I think fantasy art is very, like, a lot of it is very illustrative, and I think that, you know, and less traditional art, and some people complain about that a lot of fantasy art is very, very that way, but I like it, so I think a lot of us, like, between D&D and then later, like, Magic cards, like, those are, like, the markets for fantasy artists these days, because there aren't many nowadays in book publishing. It's less common to use actual art for your cover, depending on the genre. But a lot of covers will just do like iconography, right? Like the Game of Thrones covers. Like the first printing of Game of Thrones had a beautiful painted cover, but then they went just to the plain icons. Yeah, Larry's dragons are more human in a lot of ways. Most of them are. They've got, in a weird kind of way. I could probably analyze why. Though Caldwell still aren't as bestial as Easley's. Easley's look like primordial terror beasts, which, you know, that's one interpretation of dragons. And this is a valid one. So we're getting in our fish scales. Yeah, I know Robin Hobb and Megan Lindholm. Yep, can't skimp on the cover. Yep. I agree, that's why I'm paying, folks. I'm paying quite a lot. Not as much as I could. Like, there are pro cover designers now that you're charging you're paying $2,000 per cover. I was not going to be able to do that. So, but I didn't. To be fair, I actually liked this artist better, and she's not that expensive. And she's gonna make sure my books all look like they belong in a series. So, at least for the first 4. Yeah, I know. Actually, there was a big discussion about that. If you look online, you'll find people kind of like analyzing the botched marketing of Song of Ice and Fire, because it when it was released in America, it got a totally different kind of release, like different cover art and everything. That's standard, but like it did really well in Europe, and it wasn't selling at all in America, and it almost got canceled. Like, if it hadn't sold really well in Europe, it was kind of crazy. I forget which book I was reading that talked about that, but that essentially that the publishers really botched the initial marketing for that series with the covers and everything. I could have gone with just a purely stylized cover, but I like the one that I like the examples that we looked at. I think she's going to be the right artist for my series. She really struggled too because she normally does a lot less stylistic stuff, and so she hadn't previously like worked that way. So but yeah, I'll email her back after my walk with Kiki. Oh yeah. Well, that's why she's doing like the Innkeeper series is self-published, right? And I love the Innkeeper series. And I do love her kind of her Hidden Legacy series though. I mean, I love the characters, so I read it. And I like her superhero world, quote unquote. But yeah, the covers sometimes not so much. And that's the thing being traditionally published is you do have some input, but you also have like a limited number of wars you can wage, right? So how are you gonna, where are you gonna wage your war? Where's the most effective use of your time and effort? There we go. So we've got that, and I need to. We're good here, so we can highlight all of that. And I mean, Alona Andrews, the husband and wife team that is Alona Andrews. I mean, at this point they are a destination author. So the covers don't matter as much. Like, I'll appreciate if the cover is good, but like it won't stop me from buying. It won't stop me from buying their next book, right? If there's a bad cover. Now I'm going to grab my mix color, this one, and I'm going to start kind of figuring out where my highlights are going to go on the vest here. But yeah, when you're a new author like me, that matters a lot. It's the difference between somebody picking up your book and giving it a chance and not. So yeah. Kind of like looking at where this is bulging out and where it's rippling. It kind of has a little indent here. There's like a bulges out a little bit here, and then it kind of curves inward through here. You can kind of see it, and then it picks up light down here. So that's the way I'm going to start painting this. Yeah, I'm not the thing is I'm not, even though I'm about to start building my own author mailing list, I'm not on most people's mailing lists. So I usually find out about books after they've released. But you know what? That's kind of cool because it means that I'm not like sitting there waiting for a book. Like I go, oh, I haven't checked on Alona Andrews in 6 months, and then I go and there's 2 new books, and I'm like, yay! So yeah, there are, but you're right, that's an auto buy. Right now, I'm just trying to find time to read the stuff that I've got. I'm like so buried in to read, my to be read list. But I kind of like it. Like sometimes when I ignore authors like Alona Andrews for like 8 or 9 months, because then I'll be going on a trip or something looking for a totally immersive book to read on the plane, and voila, I'll have like 2 or 3 books that I haven't, checked with authors I haven't checked in on. Oh yeah, well, you know what? It gets easier though. Iron Joker. Did you have you hired an editor, because that really helped me. Like it's not cheap, but I think my first developmental editor. Although actually, wait, I have a book for you, Iron Joker. I have a book for you. It was actually the first book that got me to start thinking about editing my own work, and it's called Self-Editing for Fiction Authors, I believe. Yeah, Self-Editing for Fiction Authors. Look it up. Like it breaks down the easiest things to look for, like the simplest building block things to look for in your work. If you haven't read it, then read it. It's like the iconic book for people who want to edit their own. I own an earlier edition, and I just picked up the newest edition just to make sure I had the newest edition. I want a little bit more. Where's my black indigo? That is not my black indigo. That is not my black indigo either. This is my black indigo. I need to touch up these. Yeah. Yeah, do the self-editing for fiction authors. If you get to the point where you feel like your writing is pretty good, but that maybe you're interested in pushing it to the next level, I will say that getting a developmental editor was a game changer for me. It really showed me the weaknesses in my own writing. It was a painful edit, but it really did. So once you've figured out, once you have a good eye for it, once the editing, if you read that book and it makes sense to you and you are able to use it, then maybe, down the row, you can think about, okay, now what? Yeah, you know what though? That's again publisher thing. The publisher chooses the author photo. Okay, so this is why I'm happy that I'm going to be independently publishing, guys. The publisher chooses the author photo they think fits with the feel of your writing or something, right? Self-editing for fiction writers. Writers, not authors. Second edition, how to edit yourself into print. Perfect. Yes. Yeah, that was the first book that was when I first really was like, no, I really need to learn to edit. That was the book that I found in the first edition, and it was worth it. It was way worth it. And the other one that I liked, but that was actually out of genre, but I actually found useful in some ways anyway, was called Don't Murder Your Mystery. And although it was a editing book for mystery authors, a lot of the stuff it talked about still helped me a lot. So that's another one you could look into. The authors, I believe, point out that, even if you're not a mystery writer, every book is technically a mystery. You still don't know what happens, right? You're still leading to a reveal at the end of the book, ideally, or a little bit of a resonating ending. So that book also was very useful to me in editing. So just highlighting the parts that I think are going to be getting some light. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit, I think. Yeah, that's correct. Kate Daniels is a book series written by Ilona Andrews. Yeah, although she's complained about her covers. I think it's funny. I think I would complain in her shoes too, because at least for the Hidden Legacy series, their covers are like it's a romance, right? The covers are paranormal romance, but the series is actually urban fantasy. And there's a fine line between the two. But the publisher has decided that this is your audience, and so I'm gonna put this cover on your book, right? Yeah, Kevin Hearn, and Jim Butcher. Yeah, I know all those. Some authors do have their pets in their author bio, and once Kiki stops trying to eat me when I sit next to her, I'll think about doing that, Shadow Raven. All right, now I'm going to use my highlight color. I'm going to have to mix up some pure white. So really this is just a very flat pattern, and we're just using highlights to try to show you where it kind of flares out and compresses to create that 3D look, because it looks very flat until you start adding highlights in specific places. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because like they're, yeah. But it's just another, yeah, it's just another example of sometimes traditional publishing is really good for you and sometimes it's not. And more you've got authors who have made their name in like traditional publishing, like publishing their kind of their series of their heart on the side under like an indie publishing or a series that they couldn't get anybody to pick up and they indie publish it. I don't remember. That went a little bit sideways. Everybody judges a book by its cover at least a little bit. Because otherwise, how are you going to click on it and like or pick it up? I guess you could, if you are in a bookstore, technically you could see the title and pick it up because of that. Although if I pick it up, if I pick a book up, oh, the title sounds interesting, right away I look at the cover. And if the cover doesn't give me the vibe I want, then I might not read the blurb. Oh yeah. I have one author that I did that with, Twisted Omas, where I love the series so much that I just started pre-ordering every book in hardcover, or every new book in hardcover. But now I'm out of room on my bookshelf. I don't think I picked up the newest one. But it's C.J. Cherryh, it's her Foreigner series. It's actually science fiction, but I love the way she does her characters. Always have. All right, so we're getting that in there. Now we got to kind of bring in more highlights here. I mentioned on my Discord I'm rereading the Scholomance series by Naomi Novik. Since the third book came out, I hadn't actually had made time to read it when it released. There we go. So we got a little bit of that, but I don't want to. I need to fade this in a bit. The hard part about doing like shadows and highlights on freehand is figuring out. You need the light to kind of peak at a certain point. So I need to make sure that I'm showing a little bit of a fade into that highlight. Iron Joker. Totally trolling there. Fit those in an envelope. If that was true, every author would, if you could do that, every author would not be writing any new books because they would be inundated every popular author would be inundated under a series, boxes of books from their fans who wanted them autographed because they bought them all. Oh, did you? I don't know. As an author, I would not do that. I think I would, like, if I was as popular as she was, I don't know if I'd have any writing time left. All right, a little bit front. I've never gotten every book from an author signed. I really cherry picked when I went to see Neil Gaiman at a signing. I cherry picked the book that meant the most to me. Hi there, Pa. Hi. Who's my little keekers? My tiny little keekers here is getting scruffles. Hi. Hi there, big head. How are you? Your head is so huge. How did you get so huge? I remember when you were as big as just your head. Yeah, how did you get so immense? You're so immense. The Keeker came for Pettins. It has Pettins are mandatory. Pettins are mandatory. Oh, they are. Good girl. Good girl. What I've done over the years actually with signings is asked if, when I get an opportunity to meet some of my favorite authors, I ask them to sign my book and essentially to write the message in it to keep writing. So that's what my mentors at the workshop I attended did. And I liked that idea, so when I got Gurm to sign one of my books, I got him to do it, and Neil did it as well, even though he didn't have to. That was such a huge line, I would not have blamed him for not doing it. Alright, let's get these little highlights in on here, and the little sides here. That's funny, Kirst. Did you know that if you get an author to personalize the book when they sign it, it actually is worth less. So if you are trying to like get like a first edition of something, not that first editions are a thing anymore, but like when they were, if you're trying to get a special copy of something signed and your eye is to like have it appreciate in value for like your estate or something for your kids down the road, don't have them personalize it. Just have them autograph it. I suspect it would be different if it was somebody notable that it was autographed to, but that's something I read a while ago. Oh no! Maybe he's trying to tell you something, Kirst. Maybe he's trying to tell you that secretly he's a minion of chaos and the vanilla Marines are his he's trying to poison. So he dedicated your book to chaos. That's interesting. Yeah, maybe he's trying to secretly turn the Ultramarines. Or not so secretly, as the case may be. He's picking out little bits that are sticking up. Did you have to cleanse it? Did you have to affix a purity seal over the dedication to chaos? Sequestered section. That's funny. I can see this. I can see your indignant reaction. Making a shadow color. Hi there, Keeks. Oh no, Keeks is bringing me a toy, everybody. Uh-oh. No, you dropped it. It's the very, very ripped up Wubba. Oh, do not eat those. Do not eat my paint. No, no, no. No, do not eat the paint box. Do not eat the paint tubes. Do not eat the paint. Oh, dear. 1 second while I wrangle Puppy. Puppy, what is with you today? Oh, I think it's because David's home. She's like all like, instead of settling down, she's all riled up. No, ma'am. No. I'm not going to play with you that way. Take your Wubba and leave. It's been like zero tolerance on mouthing lately. Just to get her to stop. Because otherwise, like, mouthy. So, one thing that you can do, I always say you can mix, like, browns and blues to make, a black. So what I'm doing here is I'm mixing a really dark brown by putting, and this is a mixture of russet brown and tarnished copper, but you can actually mix the black indigo into it. And it's coming out really dark brown, but if I continue to add the black indigo, it will actually go to more of a neutral black. We'll go to kind of a dark, really dark purpley color, but just a little bit warmer than the black indigo. So yeah, we're happy that Golden Demon at least is back here in the US, done in Chicago. Even if it's not part of a games day. All right, now I'm gonna use this dark color to add some shadows. There we go. Just picking up a little bit more highlights back around here. You have to get enough for the filigree to kind of show up, but not a ton. I'm going to get some pure white out so I can put some highest highlights on this. Oh, the quarterly contest. Oh, is it the owlbear? Is the mysterious owlbear released now and a subject of a quarterly contest? Do I have to compete this? I can't compete. I'm a Reaper employee. No competing for me. Yeah, and you know what? It may not even be their fault, Twisted Oma. I was, back when I was still going to my writing club's book club, or my writing group's book club, one of the people in our writing group actually got accepted by a traditional publisher. And one thing, she came to book club and we just kind of were chatting with her, and she said that her agent and her publisher thought that her books needed to be a lot darker to sell. And so they essentially she was doing an edit / rewrite to make her books darker. So part of that may not even be your author's fault, because that's the weird thing about traditional publishing. All the weird things you don't find out when you think you really want to be traditional published, and then you do. And you're like, whoa. Because I'm sure that would happen in my own book. Like they would, it has a little bit of darkness in it, but not a lot. And like, because I think a little bit is good for, like, just for plot. But my book's pretty clean, all things considered. And I'm pretty sure that if I had gotten accepted with traditional publishing, they would want me to turn it into dark fantasy. And I would not have enjoyed that. Yep, there you go. Buy the owlbear. Oh, I have to go look now. Quindy is linked. Quindy is linked. There's the owlbear. Owlbear. Go and get your owlbear, everybody. Get your tremendously swipey owlbear. It's tremendously swipey.
Yeah, you excited? Oh.
Tremendously swipey.
Oh, almost. Good try, Pop. Good try.
If you hear David in the background, it's because he's playing frisbee with the papa. Because it's a sunny day today. But she's probably tromping through the mud anyway. Yeah. Oh well. Put the owlbear on your list for somewhere in the future, Shadow Waven. It's not necessary to run and get it with the rest of the crowd.
Oh, nice.
There will still be more, I'm pretty sure. Knock on wood. I'm just putting little touches of white here. And now I need to kind of look. I feel like I need more highlights, like right through here. So I'm going to bring that up. Bones 5 Dungeon Dwellers. He's gotten very angry at his iPad, I think, Pendrake, because he's really trying to swipe at it. David gets frustrated with his iPad sometimes. So I think the owlbear is just channeling that. Maybe there's an even more frustrating device. I'm just going to put a little bit more highlights up higher here, guys. Yes, you've got it. You just need to dig it out. Oh, theirs are fun. Oh, glow-in-the-dark cannons. I think, weren't the cannons separate? But they're probably for the ship, you're right. There we go. Came separate in Bones 5.5, got it. You guys are more up on that stuff than I am. I like usually buy one thing in the Kickstarter that I really like, and then I kind of pass on the rest. So here we've highlighted enough to try to suggest. And I do need to bring in a little bit of a darker shadow on places. You can give her a pig ear if you want. Gotta bribe our puppy into good behavior. Cannons were separate. Yeah. Hi there, Kiki. Did you just realize that I was still here? Yeah? Hi, Keekster. Did you have fun? Miss Mucky Paws. There we go. I think we've got that side pretty good. Let me grab my shadow color. Let's put a little extra shadow there. There. I think that looks good. Then we just got to have little fishy bits here, and there's a lot of shadow over here, so it's just like kind of like you can see where the light falls right down in that row of scales. $20 came with your ships. Yeah, I don't know at all what the standard cannonage was. What's up, Squeaky Dog? I think David went in the garage and shut her in the house. I bet he didn't open her back door where she could sit and enjoy her breeze either. Ah, super limited leftovers. Oh, and not likely to be back in stock anytime soon. That's good to know. So if you want your cannons, get them now. Now again, just kind of solidifying my copper color over the top of this design so that I can hit my highlights. Already out? Oh no! I see. Oops. Oops. My bad. What's up, Papa? I hear her clicky, her wandering by in the hallway. She's like, where did my dad go? Mom is boring right now. So just pretty much taking like a line of highlight down the center there. You're glad you already have 60 cannons. There you go. You have an adequate cannon supply. If we need more cannons than that, we're kind of screwed, in my opinion. Though didn't the biggest ships in the Napoleonic Wars have like 120 guns? Pendrake, I'm looking at you. You are my ship reference. Just neatening up my fish scales there with some of my dark. I still need to do his eyes. Yeah, weird that they're still showing when they're out of stock. Hi, Papa. You're back. You're bored. Oh, you're wet. Did you stick your whole head in your water bucket? Why are you wet? Or did you stick it under the hose and I just didn't notice earlier? Owlbear, Circe and the Pigs, Bronze Golem, and Greek Pillars. Oh, Bronze Golem is out. Awesome. Finally. After we painted most of him on stream. So yeah, for those who didn't buy Greek Odyssey but wanted to paint the Bronze Golem, which is a pretty fun paint, or I wouldn't have managed to get all the way through it because there was a lot of it. Thank you. That's what I thought. I thought that was around the upper limit, Pendrake. That's what I thought. For some reason, I was recalling the very, very biggest ships having 120 guns. But it's been a while since I've read those historical fiction books, so. Yes. On the lurking mode, Silver Tongue? Okay. Ah! I'm going to just make things fall over. Well, it's awesome unless it was pointed at you. Then it wasn't so awesome. There we go. Now we've got fishy scales on both sides. We are almost, yeah, I can jump into that. You know what? I think I'm going to actually put his eyes in this copper color, but then I'm going to make them yellow. But the copper is an orangey color, so it will make a good shadow. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, because if you're building with timber, you can't fit. There will be a point where there's too much weight, right? There we go. Sweet. Yes, because some admiral is always going to think that more guns is better. Until too many ships sink. More DACA. When you have so many guns on the tank that it can't move. When you have so many guns on the ship that it sinks. The more DACA lesson. All right, let's get this
armlet kind of blocked in. That's still a pretty huge keel. Like, that's a very long boat. Pendragon and Shadow Raven both with the... That's still a pretty big boat. You guys are vibing together today. Yeah. Just kind of making sure that my base coat on the copper little baubles here is a solid before I start highlighting. Well, right, obviously now it's more immense because we're not using wood. And I'm just going to do like some round highlights. Remember, round highlights on rounded objects to make them look round. Round, round, round. Like a record. I'm going to grab my shadow a little bit and kind of get around the edges. I could do these as gemstones, but like then I'd have a crap ton of gemstones to paint, and it would be kind of out of place because you don't really have a lot of accent color stuff on here. We'll see if I regret it and wish that I had an accent color somewhere. I wonder what my puppy is getting into right now, because I know that David went outside. And there are mysterious noises from the other room. So I may need to have to go investigate those mysterious noises, guys. Because I really don't want the puppy to, like, eat things. Like, things we need. Hold on while I check that out. What are you doing, baby dog? What are you doing? Hi, baby dog. Hi. Oh, you have a ghost. But you know what you don't have? You don't have you. Good girl. She has a full bully stick, but her like door wasn't cracked open. Hi there. Oh, hi. Oh, please don't eat my paint. Please. 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 Hey, what are you doing? Trying to eat my paint. No eating my paint. No eating my paint. Yeah. There you go. Good girl. Oh. Oh, yeah, leaving the lower gun ports open equals oops. Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. There. So yeah, we'll see if we can, if we live to regret not having more accent colors. Although, if I had an accent color in this model, it would probably be an orangey yellow. And I don't know that that fits a lot of this stuff. Maybe the little, well, I think that's a frog foot and not a chicken foot. So I don't know. We have room for very small accent colors, but I'm not real sold on a lot of the ideas for them. So I'll have to think about it. But I knew I was going to make his eyes yellow from the beginning, so I might introduce some yellow. Hello, Duster. How's it going? I was just debating my lack of accent colors on this model and whether I was going to regret it. But we were kind of painting some of the copper up here. If I decide to turn it around, I could always make a couple of these little baubles, gemstones. We're also talking about ships, because we got onto ships. I'm not sure how we got onto ships, but we got onto ships some. Oh yeah, it was because we were talking about cannons and the fact that they are not available in the Reaper store. And then we talked about how many cannons you really needed and how many cannons was too much. Mostly shipwrecks now, yes. Now we're on to shipwrecks, Duster. But welcome, yes. And if you haven't been on here before, I paint a whole bunch of different models, so I do a different model every day. So today it's fishy, but tomorrow I think we're back onto one of our newer models. We're back onto the Burgermeister, whose green is still not dark enough for me. Do a shadow here. And I darken down the copper right under my highlights. I think I hear a puppy munching on her bully stick now, so I don't have to go and see what she's eating. David has been watching Endor, and so he is in the TV room and not watching her right now. This is a pretty big mini. Oh yeah, you like the shipwreck stuff, Agent Marvel? So remember, the more abrupt the transition from light to shadow here, the more shiny the bracer will look. So if we want it super shiny, then we want really sharp pinpoint highlights. Oh, that reminds me, Duster. I need to book a pup sitter so David and I can go into the city. There's an Egyptian exhibit down in San Francisco right now that I really want to see, and it's going to be gone in mid-February. So I need to figure out when we're going to do that, because it's ski season. So David is sometimes gone on the weekends. I like it. Ancient Egypt is one of my things too. I really enjoy it. Enjoy learning about it. Typing is overrated, Twisted Oma. You're good. All right, let's see here. So I can use my basic tarnished copper to kind of blend in the highlights here and make them a little less abrupt, so that it's more of a burnished look and less shiny. And then a little bit of pure white, or pure white mixed with my super high highlight. And then remember, there's also highlights up on top where the whole surface stays lighter, but you still have highlights and shadows. Gonna have to grab David and show him the cover sketches I got, so that I can get his opinion before I go out on my walk with the Kiki. So I want to think about it on my walk. I do a lot of walking and thinking. How about you guys? Do you guys do walking and thinking, or do you have a different thing you do when you're thinking? I seem to need a lot of thinking time to mull over stuff, to make good decisions. If I don't have my thinking time, then I'm like, it's hard to come to a good conclusion. Yeah, this is looking pretty cool. This is looking pretty cool. Like, we're almost done with all the infinite amounts of copper on here. So many different types of surfaces. That's funny, Korniko. Oh, not safe. Yeah, South Africa. That's too bad. So we're just going to put a little bit of highlights here. Kind of pop up the highlights a little bit. On occasion, that happens to me too, Korniko. I try to take photos of the pretty flowers from my mom. I might be out a bit in February. Speaking of, I kind of want to go down to visit my folks. They're down in Arizona. It's about a 2-day drive from here if I take Kiki with me. If I don't take Kiki, I can fly down. I'll talk to David about it. I may abandon him with the dog. Maybe it'll be a good time for both of them. I don't know. And if I don't take the Kiki, then flying down makes it much easier to just take a weekend to see my parents. Though they would love for me to bring the dog, I'm sure. But I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out and let you know, Quindy. As David's talking about his ski trips he wants to take, so we'll have to negotiate which weeks he's gone, which weekend I might take off.
And I probably would take a Friday or a Thursday also, or both, just to get down there and have some time. Because my parents are not getting any younger. And I don't want to go visit. So a little bit of a bright white highlight on top there. I also need to put one on the balls to make them really look shiny. That's funny. Kiki loves birds. Kiki just wants to be able to chase all the birds all the time. Loves birds. She loves birds more than squirrels. Like, she thinks the squirrels are exciting too, but birds, man, it's all about birds for Kiki. It's got to be the poodle and the Wetterhound behind her, because those are both, at least poodles used to be water retrievers. And Wetterhounds are. Yeah, they get really tame, right? They get really brave if they get fed. We noticed that when we were in Hawaii on the Big Island. The birds are very, very brave. And very, very hungry, apparently. Alright, a little bit more shadow underneath here. And I'm going to bring up some under reflections. Yeah, there's lots of cool obscure stuff in Texas that people don't think about or know about. A little bit of highlight on the underside because you've got light reflecting up from the environment. So that's what the other factor of NMM. It's light and shadow and then under reflection or reflected light. It doesn't always come from underneath. It depends on your model and where it is. But here we're doing pretty simplified. So in its most simplified form, usually it's light reflecting from the ground. Kingfishers are nosy, huh? They have very long beaks too, so I bet when they're nosy, they're kind of annoying. So a little bit of highlight there, suggest that. My dark probably could go a bit darker. You never take your reflected light as high as your real highlights, but you can get close depending on the shininess of the object and the intensity of the light. There we go. So I feel like I need a darker shadow there, so I'm going to grab some brown liner. Oh, they make too much sound? Loud birds. Noisy, not nosy. Got it. I didn't know they were noisy. Huh. That's interesting. I'm going to take some brown liner and put some russet brown in it. So a really black brown with a more of a burnt umber color. And I'll use that for my darkest shadow.
So that was the same one that I used over here. People are just silly about animals. On the seashore going down to Monterey, there are like ground squirrels, and they get constantly fed junk food by the tourists. And you can see just like sometimes they get like bits of plastic stuck to them and stuff like that, and it's like, oh. Very loud birds. Interesting. I did not know that they were loud. And then I can use some of my tarnished copper to kind of blend in that shadow a little bit. Don't want it to be real abrupt. I don't want it to be a real shadow. So there, that's much darker, and now that's working a lot better there. That looks better. Yeah, I knew there were big birds. We have egrets around here, the white ones, but they're not quite the size, I think, of a kingfisher. Oh, hey, it's 11:15. Well, I started late because David slept late this morning, because he didn't have to get up. So it's okay that I went late. But I'm going to just put another shadow back here. I'm going to darken the shadow back here like I did on the front. And then I will be able to pause it for here. Despite talking about all sorts of other things, we did manage to get a lot of... Yeah, I did. I missed your time check earlier, Quindy. Sorry. I was trying to get through all this copper. But we did actually get through, like all of our copper is complete on the front and back except for the little cage. And I probably will do the center of the belt. Yeah, so, yeah, look at how shiny. He's got bling, guys. He got bling. He got bling. Blingy fish. Blingy fish. Very blingy fish. Okay, so there is a Rhonda later. Well, then definitely come back and keep Rhonda company, y'all. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you, those who were on the earlier part of the stream. Thank you for giving your opinion on my artistic thing. Tomorrow is Burgermeister. Yeah, we're working on this. We're using the meadow green, I remember. Yeah, meadow green and pine green, I believe. So, yeah. You made it just in time for the end of the stream, Bill. All right, people, thank you so much for stopping in. And it's time for me to go out and walk a puppy. Now it's getting cloudy again. Oh, great. Is it going to rain just when I have to walk the puppy and no other time today? So, yes, have a wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow. Be sure to tune in later for Rhonda. Okay, thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.